Have you ever noticed that people seem to find your strengths or know your strengths faster than you do? I'm Jamie. I'm the founder of the Second Act Simplified podcast. This podcast is for women in midlife who are ready to pivot, explore what's next, or finally start something new. Today, we're talking about something powerful but often overlooked, leaning into what we're already good at. I have a funny story that happened today that was perfect for the topic. We were greeting at church today as a family, and our granddaughter was with us. She's 6 years old. She assigned herself to be the tour guide, which was pretty funny. Some people were new to the church, but most of the other people have been going for some time. As each person entered the building, she would say, "Hi, I'm your tour guide today." And she would walk them over to pre-church breakfast hospitality. So she would take them over to the food and show them where the donuts and other food stuff are. If she thought they were new, she'd ask them if they'd like a tour of the church. Throughout the morning, I'd see her walking people back and forth across the church, showing them where to go, introducing them to people, and mostly focused on the breakfast and where to find the mints before the service, the important things. I was thinking about it on our ride home today and was laughing because she was demonstrating early leadership skills. Nobody asked her to do this. Nobody told her to do it. We did tell her we were greeting people as they come into church today, but nobody said, "Hey, this is something you have to do." She took it upon herself. She showed courage. She showed leadership, initiative. She was definitely social. That is one of her skills. I think the whole church knows who she is. Even if they don't know the rest of us, they know her because she will talk to pretty much everybody. If I had to describe her, those are some of the words that I would use. And yes, there's always a flip side to some of those traits. I did have to correct her for being bossy with some of the other kids today. But her heart's in the right place. She wants people to feel welcome. When I think about the topic that we're talking about today, those traits really start early. And as we grow up, we forget about some of them. Sometimes we alter our natural traits. As you're thinking about what do I want to do next, think about what you're naturally good at. Some of the reasons our strengths get buried, think about it. We're balancing maybe work, family, home, caring for other people, just all the obligations that come with daily life. Sometimes you lose the things that make you you. It's not intentional. I'm not saying people are trying to take who you are away from you, but it does happen to some degree over time. It's really important to think back. What was I good at before life got busy? What have I been good at naturally my whole life? What do I enjoy doing? When my friends call me, or my spouse or family members or coworkers, what do they come to me for all the time? Is it advice on a certain topic? If you're struggling with this, there's clues out there for you to think about. What could I do next? What am I good at? What do you lose track of time doing? This is something I think about when I think of musicians, just playing an instrument or singing or with a band for hours at a time and just completely losing track of time. I will say, even this year, I spend most of my free time working on my side business, and I don't view it as labor. This is a burden. I'm having so much fun, and I'm having fun learning and connecting with other people. What do people thank you for? And really think about the times where people are thanking you for things that you think aren't a big deal, but have helped them in a way. And things you'll hear is, "Thank you so much. I needed help. I didn't know how to do that. That was great advice." Those types of things. How have you helped other people and not even realized it was a skill? I can give you an example this week. And in this example, I'm thrilled about because I couldn't have done this a year ago. So I have, one is a good friend and the other is a woman that I met through networking. I had one completely unplanned and one planned interaction where I ended up inadvertently helping people because of what I've been doing this past year. One friend and I were talking, and I found out that she is starting her own website on Squarespace. And I was like, oh my goodness. I just started rattling off all these things about SEO and or where you set up and make sure you do this and get your Instagram going, even if you're not going to use it. And I was so excited, one, to be able to talk to somebody else that I know really well so that we could grow together and share tips. But I knew where I was a year ago, and I had to search for the help that I was trying to give her. I spent hours and hours watching YouTube videos, podcasts, and later on signing up for some courses. The things that I tried to help her with are things that took me some time to figure out. And then another woman I met through networking, and I had mentioned that I use Pinterest to drive traffic to my blog, and that's actually where I'm having the most success. She was like, "Oh my gosh, I would love to hear more about that." When you're networking in events like that, you only get so much time to talk. So I was like, "Okay, let's set up some time." It took a few weeks, but we were able to connect. And we spent about a half an hour together just talking about Pinterest, setting up a business account and ways to create boards and pins and how to drive traffic to her website. She's looking to sell but also help others. That was a half-hour conversation, and I told her if she ever needs help again, we could set up time later. I was so excited about both of those interactions because it was kind of a barometer for myself. I knew that I've learned a lot, but then when you get into interactions like that, you're like, oh my gosh, I wouldn't have even been able to talk to either of those people about those topics a year ago. How much has changed in that time frame? Some of your interests and some of your talents could also be evolving as you evolve. The other thing is, like, those things aren't big deals. There's not anything super exciting, but I have been using Pinterest for probably 20 years. And so Pinterest is kind of natural for me. But if you've not been on the business side of Pinterest, there are things that I've learned, and I did an episode, I'll put it in the show notes, last week about Pinterest that I didn't know a year ago. Okay, so once you have these clues from either your childhood, friends that you have now, get a notebook out and make a list of some of the things that both interest you personally and some of the feedback that you got. As an example, you were somebody that plans great road trips, and every time you have friends that are going to take a road trip, they're like, hey, you take great road trips, you have great itineraries, you seem to cover everything, have the best places to stay, or you're really good at including family activities. Do you have people that come to you for things like that? Maybe you're really good at budgeting and you have friends come to you about finances. How do you budget? How do you plan for the holidays? Maybe you have templates that you use. How could you teach others to do what you're good at? We talked about the musician. If you are really musically inclined and that's something that you'd want to do as a business, maybe you can teach other people online or create some workshops or just a creative community. If you're hearing this and thinking, I have a few ideas, I'm not really sure where to go with this. Like, I have 5 ideas. How do I make this into a business? I created a custom GPT to help with this exact topic. And if it doesn't matter if you have 0 ideas or you have 10 ideas and you just don't know what to do, it's to help you work through what your next step is. Are you going to do something new? Does it make sense to be a business? Is this going to be a hobby? I really want to make it available to women that feel stuck and want to do something different. I'll have a link in the show notes to sign up for this custom GPT. If you aren't comfortable using ChatGPT and you're like, hey, I've never even logged in, send me an email. It's really easy. You do not have to have the paid membership. You can use this pretty easily. Honestly, once you have a link, the only thing you have to do to use ChatGPT is have a login, and that is free as well. It's hard to see ourselves clearly. We are too close to see our own strengths. What's natural to us doesn't feel special. We often think of like, oh, I just did that. I threw that together. That's so easy. What's so easy to you is probably not so easy to somebody else. We've spent most of our lives trying to be adaptable and do many different things. So a lot of things that have come to us easily over time. The thing about things that maybe you've said to other people like, oh, I just threw that together. Or maybe somebody gave you a compliment on something you did and you're like, oh, that's not a big deal. They took the time to compliment you. It is a big deal. I can think of just today, a friend of ours gave us these beautiful pumpkin cupcakes and I was staring at them. I'm already thinking, have people asked you to make things for parties? because I'm okay at cooking meals. I'm not great at baking. I don't have a lot of patience for it. I definitely wouldn't have piped the icing. And they looked store-bought. If she would have just handed them to me and said really nothing else, I would have thought they were leftover store-bought cupcakes. Think about things like that you enjoy or are easy for you, but somebody like me, I wouldn't have done that. And then turn your strengths into experiments. Identify your strengths and don't overthink how you use them. Some examples. Are you good at organizing? Maybe you can help a friend organize her closet, or maybe you have somebody moving and you can help them plan their move. Are you good with other people? You could host a group chat or start a community thread or host a few other women for dinner. I love this idea. I have an acquaintance that I know, and she is hosting a dinner with 5 women entrepreneurs once a month and getting people together. And I'm very lucky I get to participate in one of those, and I'm so excited. And so I love when people think outside the box, but they lean into what they're good at. Maybe you're creative, you're great at drawing, share some of that online, teach other people and see how other people respond. Let's do a challenge. Ask 3 people this week what you're naturally good at. Don't explain it. Don't say, well, I'm trying to do just ask somebody, hey, when you think of me, what do you think I'm good at? Or what advice have I ever helped you with? Write down what they say and then circle any repeating themes, especially things that already kind of stand out to you. If they stand out to you and your friends are saying the same thing, then it's probably something you need to think about. Your theme overlaps will help guide your next direction. Lean into what you're good at. Notice what feels easy. If it's easy to you, it's probably not easy for somebody else. Even if it seems small, sometimes it's the small things that really help other people. Build on what you're already doing and what's already there. If you're listening on YouTube, please hit subscribe. If you're listening on any other podcast platform, would love for you to leave a review and follow the show. The resources I mentioned today, they will all be in the show notes. And thank you so much for listening. I'll see you next week.